Founding member Rusty Young, you seem to have a knack for turning bad situations into good ones, starting with creating a game-changing and trailblazing band, Poco.
Well, thanks, Steve. Yeah, it's a long time ago, 1968.
That had to be kind of scary.
Yeah, it is scary. It really is scary. But it was a great time. It was a great time in music and the whole scene in Los Angeles that was being created, you know, with the Eagles and Poco and Long as Messina and on, the Dirt Band and Jackson Browne. It was a really creative and a wonderful place to be, and I hated to leave Denver, but that was the place where music was happening at the time.
You took another seemingly bad situation and turned that into a positive when the head of a record company told you you're in trouble because at that time you didn't sing or write songs.
Wow, you've done your research, haven't you?
A little bit.
We had a meeting with David Geffen when Richie was leaving the band, and David went down the couch that we were sitting on, and with Paul and Tim, he said, "You guys, you write songs and you sing, don't you?" And he said, "Don't worry. Richie's leaving the band, but you'll be just fine." And then he looked at me and George, and he said, "You guys, you don't write songs, do you?" Well, George sang, but, you know, you don't sing and write songs. And we said, no. And at the time, the odd thing was that I was the #1 steel guitar player on the planet. I was on the cover of Guitar Player magazine. I'd been voted #1 over and over, and was as successful as you could possibly get on that instrument. But yet, he was totally right, because with Richie leaving the band, if I had to go out and find, you know, a job, I'd have to try and start another band, or I'd probably end up playing in a club somewhere for, you know, $200 a week. And so he did me a great favor when he laid that on me, because then I realized that the people that are important in the music business are the singer-songwriters. They're the most important. So I decided to start working on becoming a singer-songwriter. And thankfully, it worked out.
And then there was around the end of 1977 that Timothy B. Schmidt was leaving to join a little group maybe people have heard of called the Eagles. Now,
right.
Your record company was thinking about letting Poco go, and as a minor miracle happened because you were a singer and songwriter and had a little number that you had come up with called Crazy Love. Once again, fortune smiled on you, and it went to #1, and it stayed there for an amazing 6 weeks.
That's right. It was amazing. It was 10 years since we started the band, and in those 10 years, Poco never had a gold record, never had a top 10 hit. I don't think we even had a top 20. And so when all these great singers and songwriters, you know, from Timothy and Randy and Jimmy Messina and Richie and Paul Cotton, all these guys, you know, over all those years had been writing and singing songs, we'd never had a hit. All of a sudden, the guy who didn't sing and didn't write songs has the band's first #1 record, and that record went double platinum. It's a pretty wild scenario.
Did you get a big head?
I got a big head, yes.
But that's where having good friends and good relationships will get you grounded again.
That's right.
Now, you wrote Crazy Love, and with that comes the royalty checks. What did you go out and buy? A big old caddy, a house for mom and dad?
I was pretty good. I already had a nice house in Los Angeles, so I went out and bought a Porsche.
Were you dangerous?
I still have. Actually, I just got rid of that Porsche and got a new one. So I'm pretty, for an old guy, I'm pretty dangerous.